Yo, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today on the Unpopular Opinion Channel. Like I told you, I'm gonna keep bringing you more and more videos that I run across on the web that interest me on a daily basis. In this next video, it's a guy with his drone exploring the Grand Canyon, and I find anything pertaining to the Grand Canyon extremely interesting. And the guy's going through with his drone, and he's just showing the world and his views what he discovered. And a lot of people do believe that ancient civilization once resided at the Grand Canyon. You got some people saying that they still reside there. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But in the video, he's showing what it looks like. And I've been personally been to the Grand Canyon, and it's breathtaking when you see it. I'm gonna play the video. This is my first time watching the video, so this is gonna be like a review video. And I'm gonna pause it and interject when I see something that's amazing, or I want to interject on what he said or something. So without further ado, let's check out this brother's video.
A few months ago, I found an ancient site that completely blew me away. I dubbed it the Impossible Ancient Ruin. This is drone footage of it from my previous video. What made this site so compelling wasn't the fact that there was an ancient structure on a cliff. You can find those throughout the American Southwest. But this one, in particular, carried everything to the extreme. I could not figure out a way this site would have been accessible without severe danger to the people who built it and presumably lived in it. It was, and still is, unlike anything else I've seen. In the aftermath of this, I knew I had to go back. Was this impossible site one of a kind? Or were there others like it? Perhaps even more impossible. With this question at the forefront of my mind, I ventured back in. This is what I found.
Yep, headed back in here again. I gotta be honest, this place has just kind of captured my imagination. It's just got a different feel than a lot of places. I don't really know how to describe it. So anytime I come in here, I feel like my heart beats a little bit faster, my senses heighten a bit, and it's just, I don't know, it's just an intriguing place. So this is really cool, guys. I saw this big boulder from a ways away and walked over to it because this is sometimes where you'll find rock art.
The main feature here was this large horse. Dating rock art is notoriously difficult, but a site like this can definitively be dated to after the mid-1500s, because that is when the Spanish brought the horse into the Southwest. If I had to guess, I'd say someone from the Ute or Navajo tribes created this in the last 2 to 3 centuries. Different groups of people have left different marks upon this landscape.
Take a look at this, guys. Here is definitely a ruin pretty high up. Okay, so there's the one I spotted from a distance, and then as I got closer, there's one hidden up in the shadows too there. Here is the route. It's really the only way that's going to go up there. Kind of fall along that cliff, and then there it is over there. A little pottery scattered around, but the main ruin is right over here. Oh wow. Look at that.
Now, who y'all think and been up there and did that, or how long that's been up there? I mean, it amazes me the stuff that we run into nowadays that I know people been known about. They've been known about that. They got a little doorway right up there, man, on that ledge. And how in the world did he get up there? How did he get up there? I know he ain't who recording the video. I know he ain't by himself, and I know just didn't know two people go out there. Um, it just amazes me the stuff that we see in these videos. Look, keep watching.
these things definitely aren't going to be here forever, unfortunately. So we need to steward them and keep them around as long as we can. These things are pretty fragile, and so it's always best just to look from the outside.
It don't look fragile to me. See, that's the stuff that I bet they be saying just to keep us out of there. But it don't look fragile to me. It look pretty sturdy. It been up there all this time. And man, it looked like they just all the rocks. How they find the perfect rocks to fit the? It blows my mind. I don't know how they did this, but this right here is at the Grand Canyon, y'all.
The white sandstone roof in here was striking. I estimated the dimensions of this ruin to be 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and about 15 feet long. Given the size, at first I assumed it was a dwelling, but as I studied it closer, I decided it was probably just used for storage. When I first spotted this from the ground, it looked intimidating to access, but it actually wasn't bad at all. This is a fascinating site, no doubt about it, but it's not impossible. You're not risking your life to build or access it. I pressed on.
I came down here, walked along this ledge, and then I believe what I saw on the drone is right up in that shaded spot. All right, here we are right below. Looks like get up over in this left region and traverse over. I had thought like, yeah, that looks pretty sketch, but I actually think it's doable. So let's try to get up there.
It wasn't no way for past generations to know this stuff that they know today because they ain't had no drones. It wasn't no way for them to get up there to a lot of those places, and I imagine a lot of them lost their lives trying to climb up and scale them mountains. I imagine, but how they got it like that destroyed and put those way up there on the cliff, that, real high. How did they do that? That's what I want to know. If you think you know, get in the comments. Let me know. But keep on watching this video.
I'd say given the size, it's clearly a granary, just a storage structure kind of hidden away up here. And you can imagine when this thing was like fully in use, probably would have reached up top here, and this would have been fully plastered, and there would have been like a sandstone slab over this door here. And when you think of all that, it's like, man, it would have been almost impossible to spot from the bottom. What gives it away really is this doorway now. Great lengths were definitely taken to protect the things needed for survival. Pretty intriguing. As I'm standing up here, I looked across. There's another ruin over there. So let's check out this one last spot, and then looks like we'll probably have to climb up that.
The final site I'm talking about was something I saw while flying the drone for the other two areas. It was just a short ways further. It was mostly destroyed, but I stood there for quite a while, trying to figure out what.
And you heard me say it. He even saying that it looked destroyed. I don't know what happened at the Grand Canyon, but something happened because things ain't checking out like what the history books told us. It looked like something once could have been there. It looks like some people could have been there.
It had been. My main question was why were there these two little walls here? The only logical theory I could come up with was that a platform might have stretched across the center crack, creating flat space for a larger building on top. I don't think we'll ever know because it's all, just been eroded out here and washed down to the bottom of the canyon. Probably, I'm gonna eat a quick snack and then let's go check out that other spot over there.
He must got a hoverboard or something. I don't know how he getting up there on these mountains, on this cliff. And the camera already waiting for him.
So it's a fairly narrow ledge. The best way I think to traverse it, particularly if you're as tall as me, is the unceremonious bottom scoop.
Now that's a true Indiana Jones. Look at that cliff that he on. Look how far down it is. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I would be on no cliff like that. I mean, I want to know what's going on, but I don't think I'd get on no cliff like that just to get in that door. Unless he got a hoverboard.
Okay. I realized there was a ventilation system in here. The holes up top, as well as in the back, would have served to ventilate this room and carry smoke out. This space had been someone's home. Besides the ventilation, an interesting feature in here was this indented square built into the wall. As to the purpose it served, I don't know. I'm sitting up here and just looking out over the canyon bottom and imagining, or at least trying to, what it would be like to wake up in the morning, pop your head out of there, and just have to scan the whole canyon for threats to your life and your family's lives. No one's going to be able to sneak up on you having to climb that tough little section there, then traverse along this ledge. If you're curious about a comparison, between the difficulty to access this site and that one from my previous video, it's not even in the same universe. Like this thing, let's say this was a 1, right? Accessing that would be a 10, and I'm not exaggerating. I've had time to think about that statement, and I stand by it. Reaching this site was significantly harder than the first I found this day, but there was nothing impossible about it. Of course.
I don't think that right there is that old. I think that was built probably by the people that was robbing the true caves on the inner side of this canyon. But I don't think that right there is old. It looks like a decoy, something to distract people, or like I say, it possibly could have been built to hide away the people who was stealing the artifacts out of the cave, and it was something to conceal their movement.
It's still unfathomable for us to imagine living in a house perched on a ledge. My search hadn't turned up anything particularly unusual yet, but the day wasn't over.
I'm starting to run into pottery pieces. It's so easy just to be like, well, another piece of pottery, and keep moving, and I almost feel like dehumanize these people. This was somebody's life. That was important to somebody. I just try to slow myself down sometimes and, just appreciate it, remember it. Human hands made this. Oh, that's cool. It's some different style than what we've seen so far today.
I came to a small side canyon. Seeing a faint game or cattle trail, I took it.
Wow, look at that balanced rock right there. It's got to be 40 feet tall.
My boy just out there just walking. Got the drone falling or somebody record. I wonder which one it is. I wonder if he got a pistol with it. I had to have me a pistol with me out there in that wilderness like that walking.
There's a really promising looking alcove up there. Let's go take a closer look. So the huge alcove, it's even bigger than I first thought, is up here. I don't know if you guys can hear it. There's water flowing down there. I can't see it yet, but I hear it. There it is. Huh. It's a bit of a climb from the bottom there. But look at this, just topped out. Wow, this is a huge alcove, and it looks like there's a lot in here. So let's start checking it out. So the first thing I actually noticed in here is there's a bunch of these like little holes. Well, some of them are actually bigger, but just a bunch of places where it looks like it's been dug in. And so my guess is that looters have come in here at some point in time and have gone ham on this place. It's a shame, but unfortunately it's nothing new. And there's probably at least a dozen around here. It's one of the, I guess you'd call it challenges or sad realities of the fact that we have literally millions of acres of public land. And how are you going to patrol millions of acres? Like you can't. The downside is not everybody respects these places, or the fact that others want to enjoy them as well. Wherever there's freedom, people always abuse it as well.
If you've ever wondered why I don't disclose more details as to where I am in my travels, here's your answer. Sadly, people have looted the archaeological resources in the American Southwest for decades. Even though it's highly illegal, enforcing the laws is very difficult. When people take everything they find, potsherds, arrowheads, corn cobs, and so on, it doesn't take long for a place to be sucked clean. It becomes a shell of what it once was. What I found here took the wind out of my sails. And yet, it's still worth noting what a special place this was. Undoubtedly, this massive alcove, with a spring right below it, has sheltered human life for thousands of years. These T-shaped doors are classic ancestral Puebloan architecture. Usually explained as showing influence from the culture at Chaco Canyon. The ancestral Puebloans were here, and almost certainly many generations and cultures before them. The stories this place could tell. I hurried on, perhaps wanting to escape the sad reality, and knowing the day was waning. This trip had all the hallmarks of a solid day of exploring. I found fascinating pieces of the past. I saw bizarre.
I don't know. That thing just look fake. I don't know. It look bizarre. I believe they got caves and thing inside of the mountain, but he's showing this little particular spot on the outside of the mountain where I don't know about that one, fam.
Rock formations. I had paused numerous times, reflecting on the ancients and my own life in the modern world. I had breathed the fresh air and taken in the views, and been grateful for them. I pushed myself physically and mentally, not allowing fear to control my life. But, if I'm being honest, I felt some disappointment. I had come because of the impossible ruin, to see for myself were there other mind-boggling sights in here. I continued to spot signs of the past, but nothing unusual. Reluctantly, I decided it was time to turn around and head back. With about half a battery left, I decided I might as well drain the whole thing and fly the drone along a cliff band I hadn't studied closely. And of course, that's when I spotted it. I was glued to the screen, and knowing I literally only had minutes of flight left, I got what footage I could. You might wonder, what's so different about this? Well, scale is hard to tell. These cliff bands are about 200 feet tall. Consider where this ruin is with that in mind. Also the size of the structure. It's big, probably 15 feet tall, and incredibly unique. I've never seen anything like it. What purpose did it serve? I flew drone back and ran over to the bottom of this cliff. I didn't bring any gear, so I have no footage, but to sum up my reaction, wow. This cliff face up front was loose, crumbly, and steep. Climbing it looked treacherous. How about these ledges? I scrambled over here. Continuing around this ledge was incredibly dangerous. I backed off.
And what y'all think about that one? I thought that was real interesting. Now that last scene that he was shooting with them holes up there in the mountain, now that's where I think the ancient city that's inside of the Grand Canyon. There might be some access points, but that's interesting. Get in those comments. Let me know what you think about that video right there. I'm gonna keep on bringing you information and new stuff that I run across on the web, so we all can know the same thing. Until next time, this is on the Unpopular Opinion channel. I'm out.